according to where all our people live all around the world. Again, it's very important that we coming to you guys from Black Lives Matter Grassroots in Michigan. Again, I got my beautiful technician here with me today, Miss Deoncia. She's a wonderful college student over at my community college. And again, we want to first start off by making sure that we are talking to our community in a way that's very, 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 very important, that we are engaging and lifting our community up. There's so much misinformation that's taking place in our community. There's so much propaganda that's going on. Even when you think about AI and what AI is really doing to our community with the algorithms. And so what we're trying to do around higher conversation is try to get to some facts where we are building a coalition of people around the world, locally in our community, because we are here in Flint, Michigan. We are here with Bam Bam and Dino. We are dealing with some real interesting situations in our community because we're dealing with a great deal of lack. Now, when you think about our community and you think about communities like Alabama, so there's really no comparison when you think about what's going on in the state of Alabama is at the bottom of the list in every demographic. There are thousands of people in Alabama right now that don't have plumbing, meaning, you know how you guys can go and just use the bathroom, and it's simple as that. You can go right into the bathroom and use the bathroom. A lot of those people down there are using septic tanks, and some are still using outhouses. And this is 2025 going to 2026. Much of what's going on in Alabama is due to extreme bigotry, prejudice, racism, and white supremacy. Because again, you're dealing, and a lot of times we don't want to have them hard conversations because we are so concerned about who it may hurt. But when you're thinking about a society and systems that are in place that are designed to make sure that you don't receive what you are rightfully owed, in many cases, us as people of color in this country are owed reparations. We are owed dignity. We are owed the right to our humanity without being attacked, chased, and just gunned down daily across this country by law enforcement and by angry white and other people. And again, we can't leave our community out because much of the behavior in our community, as far as when you think about how our families and our communities are fragmentized or are broken. And I'm talking about generations. When you think about the, the struggles in many Black communities, and I'm not talking about your Snoop Dogs and your Nicki Minaj and all them ignorant people. I'm not talking about your so-called Black millionaires that don't know what to do with their money like Pharrell and all that dumb stuff, talking about carrying a Louis bag and a bag. You carrying a bag that costs $1 million. Who in their right mind would want a bag, a purse that costs $1 million, or even a chain, or even some kind of jewelry? I mean, you think about the ignorance of that in our community, but again, that's what we have been fed. So we have been fed a lie, and so because of that lie, we continue to live a lie. And so what we try to do with hard conversation, we try to bring history to dispel the lie and then challenge our community, and especially those Negroes, I mean, those Africans on the continent of Africa, because many of them are trying to act like us over here. We are a bad representation a lot of times to people in the diaspora. When you think about, when you're looking at some of these African channels and you trying to get some culture, you are almost looking at love and hip hop. I mean, you think about some of the shows that's on television, how despicable they are. And a lot of people think we act like that. I mean, think we curse. We throw things at one another. We want to dress half naked. We want to do the most vulgar things for somebody to watch us. I mean, think about some of the behavior of our women and our men. It's unacceptable what's going on. And then you look at a lot of things in the news about the young people, the young boy in Chicago and beat urinating on, I mean, all of the ugly stuff that's taking place in our community, it don't happen without somebody either being taught, they are mimicking what they see, or in many cases with us, a lot of our young people and many older people, they don't know their history. So you got to think of people that don't know where they come from, don't have no value of their mother, their father, their grandmother, their grandfather, or their great grandmother, or their great grandfather. When you are cut off from that, when you've been abused, I don't care what level of abuse, all of us have been traumatized in this country. All of us have been hurt. All of us have been raped, sodomized to some degree by a system. I'm not saying forcibly when some of you guys may internalize that. I'm saying when you got a system that breaks up families intentionally now, when you have families that are struggling because they're trying to make ends meet, people don't go to school, can't read, can't do math. I'm ashamed that I can't read, so I'm going to act out in class. I'm ashamed that I can't do certain things, so I'm going to act up because I don't want the teacher to call on me to read or to account or to do my multiplication. Because again, that's a system that's designed to embarrass you. And when you are being embarrassed, a lot of times that affects how you feel internally. And so what we have to do, and we have to be sincere about this, how do we break those conditions? A lot of times we have to break them by being honest. A lot of times we may be in family, but just because they are your kin don't mean that your just because they're your skin don't mean they're your kin. You got to be careful about that. And sometimes just because you were born in a place may not be the place for you. Today they was honoring, think about this, Garrett Morgan. Do anybody know who Garrett Morgan is? Garrett Morgan, for your enlightenment, invented the stoplight and the gas mask. The stoplight, the traffic light, as y'all want to call it, is all over the world. He came up with the concept and the construct with all of the engineering to create that out of his mind. So when people talk about black people haven't done nothing, you guys got to stop it. Because if you think about today, I mean, yeah, Friday, Sunday. Last Friday, a movie is out now. It's called Sarah's Oil. I implore you guys to watch it. It's based on a young girl. Her name is Sarah Richter. She's out of Oklahoma. Uh, she was uh, she was part of the Chickasaw community, Native First Nation people. She was black. Her ancestors were black and Native American, and she was guaranteed, or her ancestors, her grandparents, left her 136 acres in Oklahoma. And guess what they found on? Oil. Yes, ma'am. And then the white people tried to trick her out of the oil. Even what's his name? J.D. Rockefeller and all them devils. So even them people tried to trick her. I mean, to the point of death. Out of this young girl, why I want y'all to watch this movie. This young lady was blessed by God. Man, she was dealing with principles that came from the universe. I mean, she was articulate, could read, could do everything. She understood. She could read and her parents couldn't. Y'all think about that. She was able to read contracts. She even understood when they was trying to trick her on the percentage of the land or the acreage percentage, and even the percentage. If you find oil, there are some there are some elements when you are dealing with that industry for percentages. She understood percentages. Not gonna lie to you. I didn't do well with percentage in school. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I did well in other areas, again with history. But other than that, I'm just trying to sell this movie to you guys. I'm hoping you guys will go watch it. Very, very important because I think those applications are intrinsic for us to understand that we are great people. Guess who produced it? Russell Wilson and his wife Sierra. Now that's power. When you think about these young people coming together, produced a movie like that, excellent acting, and then they were supposed to be doing. Spike Lee was supposed to have been doing Colin Kaepernick's story. How did all of a sudden he's not doing it no more? Now think about that. Who got to Spike Lee? Spike Lee was going to produce a movie based on what happened to Colin Kaepernick. It was supposed to come out next year. They did the screenplay. They had written up, mocked up the story and everything. And Spike Lee about 2 months ago said that they had some difference of agreement with Colin Kaepernick's team. Oh, and all that is a smokescreen that some other people got to Spike Lee, and Spike Lee do the right thing, supposed to be a part of uplifting our people. So when it comes to money, we have a tendency to sell one another off like we did during the transatlantic slave trade. And again, it goes back to when you are not connected to your history, to your roots, you're like a tree without roots. And a tree without roots is dead. Now I'm setting up for us to dive into some things that's going on this weekend. We are working on community conversation, one-on-one. This effort, as far as community conversation, came about because there was a concern in our community why some things continue to be bounced back and forth like a ping pong. And so some of the things that has to happen throughout history, and you can go back, even when you go back, if you understand Imhotep. So Imhotep and Imhotep means he come in peace. But anyway, Imhotep was the first person, black, looked like me and you. He created out of the universe, out of his mind, the understanding of the step pyramid, which introduced also the obelisk, the, the Sphinx, and a number of other things throughout that time in ancient Kemet. Why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing it up because so often we have been told that we haven't done nothing, haven't had no contribution to this thing called the world, or this thing called the planet that we live on. Most people look at the sun and think that it's yellow. The sun is white. Most people, and that's why science is so important. I don't know if you guys really paid attention to science, but even when you think about the tides, how the tides come in and come out. So sometimes throughout when you think about the equinox and how the earth expands and it shrinks in the solar system, and it is revolving around the sun, and there are other planets. And then when you think about the new telescope they put out a few years ago called the Webb telescope, it was designed by this brother, the scientist. His last name is Webb. But this telescope is so powerful now that it's actually going back. I'm talking about into black holes. I'm talking about millions and billions and billions. That's how far this thing is going back. And see, sometimes when we are engaging in this level, it's so minute when you think about how people are suffering around the world. We just had Pharrell, Nicki Minaj. How do Snoop Dogg or Ice Cube and them have any conversation because they're living at a certain level? But Nicki Minaj was at the UN the other day talking about what's going on in Nigeria, that Christians are being killed in Nigeria. She need two to the head because she don't know what she's talking about. And I'm real serious about that. I'm tired of these Negroes and these women and men, Pharrell and all of them, walking around here looking like a peanut. It's unacceptable because if you don't know something, don't say nothing. If you really don't know, because how you going to line yourself up with Donald Trump? Donald Trump is the epitome of evil. Donald Trump is the forecoming of Satan. And anybody that follows Donald Trump, because the other day, if you look what was happening down in Dearborn, Michigan, that would be the same. You guys that have viewed this recording, those Proud Boys and those Europeans came into a predominantly Muslim community. That community, if you know the history of Dearborn, it was intentionally started because Henry Ford from Ford Motor Company was a devout Klansman. Don't get it twisted. He was a pure evil human being. He tricked George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver is a scientist. He's a brother, black guy, started the Tuskegee Institute. He created over 300 patents. He was castrated at 9 years old. He was castrated. His phallus was cut off because he was adopted by some white people in Iowa, and they wanted to make sure that he wouldn't bone their daughter. Anyway, so that's a side story. I'm just giving y'all some facts. Anyway, but still, God had blessed him to be brilliant. Why I'm bringing up George Washington Carver in combination with Henry Ford. Henry Ford down there in River Rouge and down there in Dearborn, in that area back in the early 1900s, 1901, 1905, 1910, they brought in immigrants because they didn't even want to hire black people into the foundries down there, y'all. Even the foundry wasn't good enough for black people. I want y'all to hear this. This is the automotive industry that didn't want to hire black and brown people to work. I'm talking about the most disgusting. Most of the people that worked in the foundry didn't live 10 years. That's how bad the foundry was. They did not live 10 years. And so most of those immigrants that came, those immigrants from the Islamic community or from the Arab community, came over doing some transitions of war. When you think about World War I, or the early part of the Revolutionary War, then World War I, then World War II. And again, most drama centers around somebody stealing somebody's resources. Most often, most beefs, most fighting take place because I want to take your resource. Just like they took this land that we own. We didn't ask to come here. This land was taken by Native Americans. There were millions and millions of Native Americans minding their own business, running around here butt naked, riding horses butt naked, wasn't raping nobody, having a wonderful time, smoking peyote, having a good time. Then here comes some devils. And then they're going to come over here and they're going to give them smallpox, give them some liquor, and then just almost genocide them guys. Then they're going to push them on reservation. Think about that mindset. So back to George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver taught Henry Ford the concept of the assembly line, meaning the assembly line is the forerunner of the plantation. Okay, when you picking cotton, cotton is in rows. And so George Washington Carver and Henry Ford went down to Alabama and saw what was taking place. And he saw how these enslaved people was working in the rows. And then he brought George Washington Carver up to Michigan and, talking about the auto industry and how they could, develop the assembly line. So the assembly line that we experience today in the 21st century was a forerunner of the plantation when you think about picking cotton. That's how the assembly line was developed through George Washington Carver. But I want to talk about Dearborn in association with all this. Those people, those immigrants in Dearborn, particularly those immigrants in Dearborn, came here intentionally because this country didn't want to allow black and brown people to have a foundation to build a legacy of building resource, meaning building a baseline, developing an economy base. They would, instead of giving black and brown people some assistance, they'll go get somebody from another planet because they don't at all want to give us an opportunity to have anything that we can call our own. Why am I saying all that? I'm saying all that because of our community conversation and the importance of it. I'm calling out and we're sending out and we're calling people, the people that came the last 2 months. We're going to be on all of the social media. Anybody that's hearing me, I want you guys to tell your friends if you're living in another country or even on another planet. Try to share with your alien friends this Saturday from 1 to 3, 2712 North Saginaw Street from 1 to 3. We need you guys here. We need our community here to start building a coalition of people that's going to be working to vet people that's going to run for a slate of elective offices that are going to be open in 2026. We really need to get people in these different seats that's going to impact our community in a way that's going to benefit the community, not themselves or not somebody trying to grandstand and try to say, oh, look at me, look at me. I'm like saying, remove me, let my people or let our community get these reasons, which is critical for us to be engaged in any kind of work that's going to uplift our community and make our community become whole again. We have to fight back so-called evil that's taking place in our community because we are dealing with such lack and such fear. See, what's going on now, when you look at the first group of people that came to the community conversation, we had about 45 people. And complicated because we were hoping that more people will tell other people and more people will come, because now down at the city council you only get 3 minutes. We were trying to get people to meet one another, even if they had some sidebars. They could say, well, listen here, I'm thinking about education, I'm thinking about really doing some tutoring. So we were thinking that people would come together and say what their resources are. Everybody got access. Everybody is not going to be a nuclear physicist or a surgical anesthesiologist. Some people are good at reading. Some people are with their hands, with tools, just simple things around the house, teaching young people. One of the biggest things for our young people to know is that they're loved. Our children don't feel loved, and you can see that with 3 generations. We got people that's 30, 40, and 50 years old that's angry. They're mad at their parents. They're mad when they look at themselves in the mirror because they feel somebody shortchanged them or somebody didn't love them or because of their condition is their fault. And again, when you think about the homelessness, we got over 2 million people homeless in America. That's unacceptable, y'all. With the kind of wealth that's in this country, we have people every day go hungry. Literally go hungry in Flint, Michigan. This is unacceptable. So why is community conversation one-on-one so important? All throughout history, it's about how we work together as a community, as a group, as a coalition. And even when you think about other groups of people, if you look on the east side, the Latin community, or however, Latin is not a real thing. So when you look at the Mexican community, and I know a lot of them want to be white. So when you look at the white Mexican community over there on the east side on Franklin Street, they have bitten off and they are getting money where they are actually building a new center over there. So that goes to show you how they have parlayed their connection with the people with power to make sure money is coming in to their projects over there. Now, a lot of times people get offended when you talk power or when you talk power to power. And a lot of times we want to lower our heads or be afraid to talk to people how they should be talked to. I believe in not disrespecting another human being, number one. But I do believe that you need to talk with facts. Because when you deal in facts about our community have been intentionally cut off from resources by a system. If you don't want me to say white people, and people get mad when I talk about white people, so I'm gonna say the system that white people created are against black and brown people. And that means the Constitution, that means all the laws, policies, and procedures are against black and brown people. And this is not hyperbole, this is facts. Because if you look at how these people are governing right now, You are looking almost like a mafia don that's in the presidency right now. And nobody's doing anything about it. I mean, he is literally bombing Venezuela. I mean, he is killing people on speedboats. Can't no speedboat come to America from Venezuela. Can't do it because you run out of fuel. I mean, it's just illogical that what's happening. And then they sent down an aircraft carrier down there. Then you got this ignorant Nicki. Some black people need to be eliminated. Ice Cube and all them people. Because again, if you're going to engage in a conversation, you got to have some facts and know what you're talking about, as opposed to lining yourself up just with money. Because a lot of times people say certain things because they are gatekeepers for the power structure. Everybody wants to shine or everybody wants to be a star. We have been so brainwashed to be a star and don't realize what a star really is. Because a star, if you really understand the mechanism of a star has a beautiful purpose. And so often, when you don't know your history or know who you truly are, you become Michael Jackson. You become an illusion of who you truly started off to be. I'm using Michael Jackson as the perfect example. Michael Jackson started off as a Negro and ended up white. I mean, I'm not, I know that might hurt y'all feelings, but the pictures, and Vera-Lago, or however you want to say that disease, come on, y'all. There's several people with that type of disease, and they wear their faces or their body, what God has blessed them with. They don't hide it. They don't put makeup on. They roll with it because that's who they are. Now, because Michael Jackson, like in the Matrix, are you going to take the blue or the red pill? He took both of the pills. So again, when you take both of the pills, you definitely confused, right? Because sometimes when you are thrust in as he was as a child, and I'm not making no excuse. He definitely was gifted. God blessed him. I think a lot of times we are blessed with God's gifts. All of us are. Some of us choose to use them, some of us don't. And a lot of times we fail society when we don't use the tools or the gift that God has given us. And I think that's something that we must double down on. So we must be conscious about what is the purpose for our community conversation. And the purpose for our community conversation this weekend, everybody was given an assignment. And the assignment was you're going to meet and have a document signed by people in your community or on your block, because we believe in the collective. We don't believe in just one person, two people, or you the quarterback and you getting all the fanfare. We believe everybody quarterbacks or everybody has a position to play. Maybe you can't be a linebacker or maybe you can't be a guard. But I'm using sports analogy because a lot of you guys understand that. But sometimes people can play all five positions. Most often, our mothers, our grandmothers played all the positions, because I do believe that women are smarter than men. I believe that women are creators more to a certain degree than men, because you got to realize life comes through women. And I believe that since women birth life, that they are truly connected to the universe. And that's something that all of us should respect, protect, and honor as men, in my opinion. And you have to be taught to respect. You have to be taught to love. You have to be taught to have empathy, to be humble. Because most often when we are a child or when we are born, or any of us, we're selfish. You know, you can have a child. A child can be fed, dry, everything, and still cry, just for you to hold them. Because again, it's a system that's in place because I want to get my needs met. Nothing wrong with me. I just want you to hold me, right? So I'm gonna act the fool until you hold me, right? So a lot of times you got to break a child, just like with any of us. You have to teach and train human beings to some degree how to behave in a society, especially because we have been so brainwashed to hate one another. We have to really, really work on being retrained or have a better understanding about our purpose and what our purpose is. So again, we also want to talk a little bit about, well, I want to double down so we are very clear. There are a number of positions, elected positions, that are open up for 2026. Why is that important? We must do all we can. Back in the day, before all this social media we had the grapevine. And for some reason, the grapevine got information out faster right now than you do in text. That's amazing what technology can do and how we use technology. A lot of technology today is used to demonize people, to disrespect each other, to talk about people. It's not used to uplift people. A lot of the people on podcasts now, they remind me of Jerry Springer, or what was that girl, that light skinned lady named Wendy Williams? You know, all that kind of stuff, y'all. You know, that just the ignorant stuff. You know, it's not to educate, it's not to inform, it is not to build family or to build businesses. You know what I mean? We gotta shift the paradigm with this technology. We gotta make this technology benefit us as Black and brown people. Because if we don't, they're gonna view us in a museum. We got a couple of things that's going on. Ms. Zamaria talked at our meeting about we're gonna partner with, or we're gonna engage with Color of Change. So if you guys are listening, we're going to be doing some giveaways, clothing giveaways, or items giveaway throughout the holiday season. During the community conversation, I'm hoping to have some items here that we're going to just display where people can just go and get if they want. Um, I think it's very important that we partner with people that are doing things in our community, because so often people have a tendency to say, well, what Black Lives Matter doing? What Black Lives Matter grassroots doing? Oh, they ain't doing nothing. NAACP ain't doing nothing. Da. So all I'm saying is, before you can say what others are not doing, what are you doing? What are you doing to make a difference, guys? And I'm not trying to talk about you, but a lot of times before we say what somebody else is not doing, think about what you're doing. And again, how you can help somebody else do something even greater when we can work together. So again, I want to mention that. I also want to make sure that we're mentioning the fact that we are always looking and interested in people joining Black Lives Matter grassroots Flint, Michigan. So we are always recruiting because a lot of times this work is not pretty. A lot of times this work is very hard, it's very lonely sometimes. I be in this office sometimes to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes trying to get some stuff done that I know needs to be done, guys. And not just, saying that when you are working on a commitment, anything that you're trying to do or you're working to do, if you're not going to really be 100% involved in doing it, you shouldn't even take it on if you're not serious about doing it. That's like any job. If you're saying that you come and you're working for somebody, you're making sure you want to give your best to that job or to that opportunity, because there could be another opportunity around the corner. And while you're working a job, you think about creating your own business. Always keep that in mind, guys. Always keep in mind that you got 10 or 15 other ideas going on, and don't be afraid to actualize your idea. Don't let nobody tell you your dream can't happen, because a dream, nothing comes to a dream if you're sleeping, but if you actualize it, because the whole concept of being woke is I'm woke to the reality. Don't be ashamed of being woke. A lot of times politicians want to talk about woke, woke, woke. Woke is something you woke, just because you respect LGBT, WWP, or all these other people. I respect any human being. I got people in my family that's gay and all that kind of stuff. I love them like I love them. They me. They part of me. We roll. I'm not in bed with them, but they my people. They do their thing. I do my thing. So again, we have to respect everybody. And again, a lot of times that's based on ignorance, guys. A lot of times we put up these false flags about what you are doing because you're not doing it like me, or you don't put your pants on like me. We always talk about the ism or somebody else's ism. It ain't about that, guys. We are only here on this planet for a very, very short time. So we need to maximize the time that we have on this planet. And we must work to learn, because if you're not learning every day, if you're not learning something every day, guys, you are wasting your time and you're wasting oxygen. All of us have a purpose. And a lot of times we miss our purpose because we get sidetracked. So it's so important that we make sure that we connect to right-minded people, that we be excited when we meet other people, smile at another person, hug another person, tell another person hi. Say, how you doing today? I don't care here to black, white, purple. Just say, how you doing? I'm glad to see you. Look, man, it's good to see you, man. I'm glad. All those things are good. That's what we got to do, encouraging one another. We got to stop being jealous and envy of each other. The other item that we must be serious about, we got an amazing North Flint food market has opened up. Guys, we need everybody in our community to go out your way and support our store. We own it, now we got to support it. We own it, now we got to make sure that those Negroes that's living over on the north side, east side, south side, west side, go support that store, because there are so many people want that store to fail. They don't want that store to make it, guys. So we all got to support the North Flint food market. That's a black, and don't be ashamed to say that's our store. So if it's our store, again, that store could be a foundation of many more other businesses, guys. We need a fuel island there, meaning gasoline. We need a whole complex for gasoline. It's got to be there where you can pay all your bills. We got to have delivery service. We got to have all of the services that's provided by all these other stores. And when you look, people talk to me and they say, well, Mr. Roberts, fleeing this and fleeing that and blah, 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 blah. I say, do you know who the Waltons are? Well, no, what's the Waltons? The Waltons that own Walmart. They are some of the most racist people on the planet. And you go to Walmart, you don't even think about going to Walmart. You just go. Your mind out of your car and your feet automatically drive to Walmart. You so brainwashed. But if you look at their history, Walmart history, Walmart is business. Big business like Amazon. They are what you call the big dog on the block. And the big dog on the block makes the rules, bend the rules, break the rules, and interpret the rules the way they want to do it, right? They don't care nothing about your community or my community. And again, just like Home Depot, before we used to have little hardware stores. All these big box stores come in and they destroy the mom and pop stores. They destroy the hearts of our community. So what we have to do, we got to change the conversation and get our people to support our businesses. We don't want that store to close next year or 5 years from now because people don't shop there. Do you know that store has to have at least every day $50,000 or $60,000 have to be spent at that store every day, y'all. That's the kind of revenue that got to come through that store every day, man, for that store to make it. And it can't do it without people coming in from everywhere, man. And so one thing that we got to do, and listen, I'm on the board, and I sent them a 3-pager with some ideas that I got. I sent it to my president, Dewan Robinson, so he could look over it because I can be a little interesting. I wanted him to check it out so they wouldn't kick me off the board before I got on the board, because they said, baby, you look too crazy, man. But I do believe they need to close Mr. B's. They need to close Landmark, because we need to tell our people, don't shop there. We need to be out in front of them stores. If anybody cross, we can stand on the sidewalk. But we need to be protesting and talking about any black person that go into Mr. B's. I'm gonna be doing that Sunday. I'm gonna go to Mr. B's and I'm going to Landmark by myself because a lot of people don't want to go with me. I'm gonna go by myself. And I'm gonna have my little sign. I already got my sign made up. Hello. My sign always say don't support the NFL too. I got that sign too, but I don't believe in football since Colin Kaepernick was kicked out of the NFL. I don't believe in no sports. We need to shut all that down. Anyway, but I do believe that we need to be strategic. We believe in analyze, strategize, and attack. And we believe that uh, on that Pearson Road corridor, there's over 15 businesses that don't look like me and you. And most of all that money goes out of our community. None of that money comes to our community because all those stores, those beer and wine stores, all of them stores are people from other countries. And they have no affinity and no loyalties to the black community. And again, that's our fault. If you look at the history when grocery stores go back to the 1920s, guys, when you think about A&P and Kessel's and Hamidy's. My technician, she too young, she don't know about all that. She wasn't even born then. But these stores were prevalent in our community. A&P and all them stores was prevalent in our community at one time because we had a community of 300,000 people. So we almost had a Hamady and A&P almost in every part of the country, or every part of the city, guys, because we had over 300,000 people here. So you got to feed them. But the point I'm making is we got an amazing opportunity to really lift our community up with this store. And it's incumbent upon us to make sure that this store is going to be the foundation of Black Wall Street on the north side. So in closing, I definitely want to thank my beautiful Diancia for coming from school. She's been doing her finals. She's a beautiful, we got a beautiful young intern. We're lifting her up, really getting her in training because she will be doing a lot of these podcasts. We really want to put her in front of the camera. We want her to be the face. We want to show her how things are done because she's younger than we are. And I think because she's younger than we are, she can bring a lot to the conversation and she can attract a lot of more young people, which we need. We need young people to be a part of Black Lives Matter, grassroots Flint, Michigan. We need the young energy. We need y'all optimism. We need you guys just your energy because you guys are the future. And so I'm pairing her with Ms. Zamaria. I think Ms. Zamaria would be a wonderful person for her to be around, to learn from, to just spend time with, something like, even like a surrogate mother figure. Zamaria is just a beautiful spirit, and I think Beyonce would really, really benefit from that relationship. So I just want to give a shout out to her and thank her for her busy schedule that she was able to come down and be my technician today. Also, I want to make sure that we thank our other board members and all members of Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint, Michigan. Also, our programmings that we do at Southwestern Rites of Passage program, we want to uplift that. Our Urban Peace Corps, our involved dads, along with Black Lives Matter Grassroots. We have a greeting our students' community impact. We have Day at the Lake. We want to always lift that up where we do a fishing trip. Our Juneteenth, our upcoming Kwanzaa celebration program. We need y'all to be a part of that. So again, a lot of time people say, what are we doing? What are you doing and what are you willing to do to help? Again, a lot of times people don't want to be a part of anything until it's already built and running and all the lights are flashing. But sometimes be on the ground floor or be in the infancy stage when you are building it. when you're making it become something. That is exhilarating in itself, guys, to know that you had a hand in building something amazing, just like our new store. Uh, a beautiful, beautiful store, guys. Please, please support it. We had, the mayor was not even there to cut the ribbon. You think about it. You got a black mayor, but the mayor was downtown prior to that weeks ago, cutting a ribbon for a club called The Level. And then some business that his cousin opened up, they had a ribbon cutting. But he did not have the time to come and share in the amazing opening of a black store in the North End. That tells us a lot about this mayor. That's why he needs to go, along with the city council. Those individuals are not working for the benefit of black and brown people in Flint, Michigan. And we need to do our due diligence. And this is what community conversation this Saturday from 1 to 3, 2712 North Saginaw Street. Please tell a friend. Please put it on your Facebook. Please call someone. Put it on TikTok. Put it on every device or every platform that you know where we can get people in the house, because a lot of times people are complaining about their community. And most often people don't realize your vote is your power. Showing up is your power. We sit back and let things happen to us and say, whoa, we can't do nothing about it. But yes, we can. Those white people came into Dearborn, Michigan. They left their community to come into somebody else's house. And they're going to tell them people, y'all need to get out of our country because we don't want the Don to be called. When you talk about religious tolerance, come on, y'all. Well, see, these are the distractions in the game that the devil lay down, guys. They've been doing this since man been on this planet. Well, since man started disliking other men based on religion. I kill you because you're a Roman Catholic. So I'm a Methodist. So I'm gonna kill you. I mean, that's what the wars used to be about with the Crusade. That's white people killing white people in the name of God. So in closing out, I always want to thank again, I want to thank our community. Again, guys, I want to say I apologize if I said anything that was not respectful. That is not my heart. It didn't come from my heart. Maybe it was a misunderstanding in my voice and how I articulated that, so forgive me. But please, guys, be kind to someone. Say hello to a stranger. Hug someone. Just smile at somebody. Please, guys. So again, I'm Hubert Niam Roberts. I'm the chairman of Black Lives Matter. My information, my phone number is 810-394-4105. My email is mentorroberts@gmail.com. Wakanda out. You good?